Moorshead here. I'm going to let you know the answers to some of the web's most searched questions about actuaries. Let's get started. Number one, what do? Well, essentially, they do the maths behind insurance. You could also say, we make financial sense of the future. And you could be really cheeky and say, we're risk assessing bad assets. But essentially, we're all about risk, calculating the maths, understanding the risks, helping companies, particularly insurance companies, to understand them. Next, what is it? What is an actuary? Well, very simply, it's a professional career. Very deep roots in insurance. So going back hundreds of years, actuaries have been working in life insurance. They've recently branched out into health insurance, general insurance, risk, and now they're starting to look beyond that and go into wider fields. And there's actuaries in a number of different areas of industry around the world. Question 3, what degree? This is a much trickier question. So the obvious answer might be actuarial science. I'll do an actuarial science degree and I'll become an actuary. Now there's definitely some advantages of going down that route. Firstly, you're going to demonstrate a really clear desire to be an actuary. And secondly, you're going to get a number of exemptions from the actuarial exams. However, it's not as simple as that. A lot of very good actuaries have got maths degrees. The reason why you would do a maths degree rather than an actuarial science degree is it keeps your options open. It also gives you a wider range of choices of universities. There's a limited number doing actuarial science, whereas you can go pretty much anywhere and do maths, and then you can make a decision, maybe once you've done an internship or something, during that 3-year period you can make a better decision about what you want to be. It might not be an actuary, you might realise that's not for you. So doing a maths degree keeps your options a bit more open. But having said that, there are some very good actuaries I know who didn't do either of those 2 degrees. Did geology or economics, philosophy, and it's even possible to do it without a degree. So I don't personally have a degree, although quite a bit older than the graduate job seekers now. It's a lot harder now, so I'd probably recommend you get a degree, but it's not necessarily required, and some companies are starting to be open to the possibility of recruiting people who haven't got a degree, get them in a bit earlier, let them start earning money sooner, so they don't have to go through the 3 years of university. But it's a decision you need to make, because obviously it's quite an interesting life part of your life journey is to go to university. Okay, next question. How long does it take? And I think this really refers to the exams. So once you become an actuary, you'll have passed a number of exams in the UK. Skipping on to the next question. How many exams? Skipping on to the next one. In the UK, it's currently 13 exams, and how long that takes really depends on the way you went in. So if you did get an actuarial science degree, you may well have a number of exemptions, and therefore it is possible technically to knock those off in just a year or so. I think a lot of people would generally start with not many exemptions, and for those people, if you're a good candidate, you might get through in 3 years. I got through in 3.5, so it's clearly possible. But other people decide that they don't want to devote their entire life to studying for that period, and so they might stretch it out over, say, 10 years. And that's fine. I know some very good actuaries who didn't qualify quickly. I know some very good actuaries who did. So it does depend your approach. Personally, I would recommend trying to get through them quicker. It's all about motivation and momentum, and if you're just doing one exam at a time, there's a risk you won't pass any, and that might feel like 6 months wasted, whereas if you push it and keep doing a number of exams each session, then you're more likely to get through, because you'll keep getting that good news, reaffirming that you're making progress through the exams. So yeah, how many exams? So 13 exams in the UK. There will be roughly different amounts in other areas, but they're all broadly equivalent. So around that time, it's a number of exams. Unless you've got exemptions, you're not going to be knocking it off in a year or 2. How to become? So I've kind of touched on it in a number of ways through what I've said so far. So the normal, I guess the most common approach would be to get a good degree, get a graduate job, qualify, and get experience by working on the job. But technically, the only one you actually need is the last one, to be experienced on the job. If you're a qualified actuary, it does open up your opportunities. So if you want to be a chief actuary and be regulated and also to sign off things, then you may well need to be a qualified actuary. But for almost all of the work that you may be doing, you probably don't actually need to have that bit of paper. So I do know some people who are very good actuaries who are not qualified, and I also know some people who are qualified and have stopped being qualified, so they've stopped subscribing to the profession because they don't feel they need that. They don't want to become a chief actuary. They don't need to have that. So it's really about being good at your job, and the best way to get good training, good experience is to come in as a graduate. That's always going to be the best option for giving you the most opportunities for career progression, giving you the most challenging work. So I generally say get a graduate job and then go that way. But you know, like I say, some people don't. I don't have a degree. I didn't come in as a graduate, and I've had a good and enjoyable career as an actuary. So there are more options available, but it's a tough market. So generally, get a degree, get a good job, get the exams, and then learn on the job. Next one, why actuary interview? I'm interpreting this as how you would respond to the why actuary, why do you want to be an actuary question in an interview. I think that's what they're getting at, but obviously it's a little bit tricky from these three words. And I've interviewed a lot of people, lots of graduates, lots of senior actuaries, and this is a really important question. You're coming in for a graduate role, you're quite young, we ask you a question, why do you want to be an actuary, and you answer that really badly. We're going to reconsider, do we really want to invest our time in this person? They haven't demonstrated they want to be an actuary. We're going to go away and train you, we're going to spend a lot of time on you, get you integrated in our processes, and then you might decide, actually I don't really fancy being an actuary after a year or so. So you need to be able to answer that question well. Some people come in and have literally thought about how they can become an actuary since they're about 10, it feels like, which might be a bit strong, but you need to demonstrate that you've gone away, you've researched it, you've spoken to actuaries, maybe you've had an internship or work experience, so you understand what's required, and you can demonstrate why you think it's right for you and also for us to employ you, because obviously, like I say, we don't want to invest that time in you and then you realise it's not for you. So it's difficult, I know, sometimes to get that, but you know, do reach out to actuaries on LinkedIn or other ways to understand what it is. There's various YouTube channels such as mine trying to open up the world of actuarial work to you so you can see a bit more about what you might be doing. So make sure you've got a good answer to that question if you're going for a graduate job. Why actuary is important? Well, I think that the start of that question is, or start the answer to that question is, why is insurance important? And the reason insurance is important is because literally the entire economy depends on insurance working. So no one's going to go away and build a big building, a big factory, unless they can be insured. No one's going to own a factory or an office block if they can't insure it, because it might burn down or there might be some other issue with it. So anything you're doing, driving a car, if you're going abroad on holiday, if you're trying to send something, ship something, post something, there's all of these transactional things are backed by insurance because the risks are huge. Every time you drive your car, you could cause an accident which costs, you know, tens of millions of pounds, and obviously individuals would never drive cars if they thought that would happen because they would go bankrupt if they weren't insured. So insurance is incredibly important. And actuaries are the people which really help to understand the risks, quantify the risks, help companies to understand how to price those risks. So all that uncertainty, any area where there's uncertainty, looking forward, that's where actuaries really get involved. So actuaries fundamentally important to insurance because we can help people understand that risk, we can quantify it. And that's why actuaries are starting to branch out into wider fields, because there's lots of companies, almost all companies take on risks and have to understand them, and actuary can really add value in those companies and help them to manage those risks better and quantify and price for those risks better. Why actuary is best job? Well, I mean, the simple answer to that question is there is no such thing as a best job. Everyone's different. Everyone has different skills, everyone has different interests. So, you know, if you like working outside using French, you're not probably going to find an actuary is the best job for you. However, if you like maths, if you like problem solving, if you like building models, if you like networking, communicating with various different people, if you like making a difference, then An actuary is a fantastic job where you can have a really interesting career. I know a lot of actuaries, and I really struggle to even name one who I think is unhappy in their job. I've known lots of actuaries over the years, and I can think of very few who've switched careers and decided that actuarial work wasn't for them. So it's a really good job if you're that way inclined. So if you like maths, it's a job you should definitely be considering. There are obviously other jobs involving maths, so don't discount those. Think about those. But actuarial jobs, for me, I've had a fantastic career. I really enjoyed it. Always coming into work excited about what we're going to be dealing with. Most actuaries very happy on Monday morning, jump out of bed, go into the office, and get cracking on the problems that they're going to have to face in the week. So I'd definitely say, if you're that way inclined, it is one of the best jobs you can have. But make sure that you're inclined. If you don't like maths, you're probably not going to enjoy a lot of the work that you're doing. So, do think about that. Lastly, when will I die? So it's probably explains why I've chosen not to go into life insurance, because as a life insurance actuary, you probably have to answer that question a lot. And in general insurance, where I work, we don't have to worry about when will people die. We're worrying about protecting cars, protecting houses, protecting aeroplanes, ships, everything else you can think of, rather than fortunately having to worry about when people will die. In terms of the answer to that question, I would say it's for everyone. It's sooner than we'd like, and between now and when that happens, you're going to be spending a hell of a lot of time at work. So you need to make sure that whatever career you do something you enjoy, and that you want to get out of bed to do. You don't want to be spending 7+ hours a day doing something which just you don't enjoy. It's not challenging you. It's not using your brain. So going back to that previous question, an actuarial job is a fantastic one for people who are that way inclined. So if you're watching this video, you like maths, you like solving problems, you like interacting with people to try and add value and to try and help the company to grow and be protected, then this is a great way to spend your time before you die, which is a lovely way to end this set of questions. So think about working in GI, then you won't have to worry about when people will die. But think about what you're going to do with your career, and an actuarial career is really worth your time. So that's the answer to the web's 10 most asked questions about actuaries. If you have any more, stick them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you thought of my answers. I'd love to hear any more questions you have. While you're here, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me to understand which videos you enjoy, so I can make more of those. It helps to support my channel. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.